Everyone, and welcome back to the longest awaited episode of the Daily Dish. What's going on, y'all? Mm, Good morning. We are here in my little nook, and I wanted to go live and just like catch y'all up on what's been going on in my life. This is what my hair looks like when I wash it before bed, because we all know I like my hair to be fluffy. But I wash it before bed and then I let it air dry overnight. I have a special pillowcase that I have made specifically for me. And that's what I use. That's what I sleep on. But holy cow, you guys, welcome back to the Daily Dish with me, Candace Cooper, where we cover anything and everything in the world. Okay? It's like not even Hollywood anymore. It's just everywhere. It's all across the globe. Let's do a little research on, oh my gosh, I just want to say I'm so sad that Diane Keaton is gone. 79 is so young. My grandmother is fucking 89, and this woman is not slowing down anytime soon. Her boyfriend, my grandma's boyfriend, is 62 years old. It's like, queen. What is going on? Okay. Annie Hall was such an epic movie for me back in the day because I was living, obviously we all know where I was born. I was born right outside of New York City. And then I lived in Brooklyn for a really long time. And I lived in LA twice. So the Annie Hall movie for me was so it was so relevant to my life personally because I couldn't decide, do I want to live in LA? Do I want to live in Brooklyn? You know, LA was such a different world than growing up in the East Coast. So, yeah, Annie Hall was just super influential for me. And then before Annie Hall, Baby Boom, okay? Because I grew up working in New York City. Because I grew up working in New York City, I have to be honest with you. When I was a kid, I always felt like all of the women who auditioned with me to play my mom, commercials, whatever, print work, I was like, that's so sad. They don't have kids. They're not really a mom. They are playing my mom on TV, but they're not really my mom. And I always felt like women who didn't have children, like, what's wrong with you? And now I'm an adult woman and I don't have children. And I know what's wrong with me. But Baby Boom was a huge film that came out when I was little. And I just remember thinking to myself, the only way I could see myself having children is if somebody like willed me a baby and was like, surprise, this is your baby. Because I inherently am very much like Diane's character in Baby Boom. I was working in New York, all about the career. That was my vibe. And then she gets left this baby from her distant cousins, and she's making applesauce on this farm and falls in love with the veterinarian. As a kid, I just thought to myself, yeah, that's probably the only way I'm going to have children, is if somebody wills them to me. I'm like, oh shit, I got no choice. So that was very interesting. Hello, everyone. Yes, we are all drinking coffee together. And then Diane herself, she went on to adopt kids in her 50s, and there was a quote saying from her, somebody in high school said to her, "You're going to make a great wife someday." And she said, "I don't want to be a wife. I don't want to be a wife." I was a wife. I actually did get married in my early 20s. I was married for a few years, 3 years. Yeah, I think I think that people who are married for a long time put up with a lot. I think that people who are in relationships for a long time put up with a lot. And maybe I'm just like too idealistic of a person that I think, the person that I'm with should be supportive of me and loving and not suffocate me and not make me shrink myself, all of those great and wonderful things. I just, at this point, I think if you can't beat them, join them. So if you can't beat them, aka making a man monogamous, then why can't we also have two boyfriends? One who is going to satisfy you with the hanky panky, and then another who's going to listen to you like, "Hey guys, we figured it out." That's why you have a gumad, because you don't want to do the things that you want to do, horizontal hokey pokey with the person that you love. It's so true. You just can't get all of it together, because I've been on this earth for a while. In my experience, you don't get to marry the person you have the best sex with. You don't. And I hate that, okay? I hate that more than anybody, but it's true. You have one person that satisfies that, and then you have the other person that you could build a normal life with. I don't make the rules. Don't hate the player, hate the game. I just think women are finally now catching on, or at least I am. I've been single for 5 years, the longest I've ever been single in my entire life. And now I get why men have one girl for one thing, another girl for another thing. I get it. So I'm not mad about it. But I am going to play the game now. Don't be mad. Back to Diane Keaton. So she didn't have children until her 50s. She adopted her kids. I could totally, it's so funny. I'm a Capricorn, and I can totally see myself adopting kids when I'm like 55. Passport bro. Well, Daniel, we're avoiding you too, so it's okay. But I get why you guys cheat. I get it. We get it. We understand the game now. Don't be mad at us, because we're going to start playing it too. But what a bummer. They did say that Diane struggled for a really long time with an eating disorder. And if it is bulimia, that does make sense, because her teeth were like kind of see-through. And you could definitely tell, and that's, from like this motion. So if you're a young person and you think bulimia is the answer, oh my God, queen, king and queen, no, it will make you bloated. It will make your eyes like, you don't want to put that kind of strain on your body and your esophagus, because you do this enough then the little flap, it doesn't know what to do with itself. So, and just from a vanity standpoint, like if you think that, bulimia is the way to be skinny or to eat junk food and not suffer the consequences, nothing is harder than throwing up a donut. Okay. And bulimia makes you fucking puffy and ugly, and it fucks up your teeth. And if you're trying to do something for vanity purpose, bulimia is the antithesis of what's going to make you beautiful. Okay, so if you're thinking of taking up an eating disorder, bulimia is not the one. Okay, bulimia is not the one. Daniel, let's see what you look like, Daniel. How many cavities do you have, Daniel? Hi from India. I have to say, I probably resonate the hardest with Indian culture. Like, you guys love astrology, me too. You guys are very ritualistic, and there are a lot of I love it. I love the culture. I love the music. I love the pretty outfits. So, hello, India. I love. It's just so wild. It's just so wild. Everything that's going on. Let's see. Pop culture news. Let's see what's going on this week. Oh my gosh, you guys, I was in LA for the first time since 2019, and I do love LA. It's true. I do. I don't love who runs LA. I've never supported someone taking down their local government more than I support Spencer Pratt going balls deep on Gavin Newsom and everyone else in the local government. Who the fuck had this on their bingo card that Spencer Pratt was going to? And I said this last year, like right after the fires burned his house down. I was like, Spencer, we need you in government. Like, imagine if Spencer Pratt comes back, saves California, and California switches to a red state. I'd fucking live there in 5 seconds. I would live there. I would live in California if it flipped red. I would be in the fucking car. But being in LA 2 weekends ago and just seeing how Topanga is filled with brush, how Santa Monica is filled with homeless people and basically crumbling into the beach. Like the walkway, you could see there's like a fence, and instead of like actually securing the crumbling side of the walkway, they just keep moving the fence back further and further and further. And it's like, here's the fence, and then like, here's the crumble. It's like gonna take the fucking fence. It's going to take the fence down into the beach. If yes, anyone who's not Gavin Newsom. Yes, I just don't care. I grew up in blue states, and I don't know what it is. They just don't have good clerical organization. They just can't get it together. I don't know where their brains are, but it's not focused on the task at hand. So I would love to see if Spencer Pratt, oh my gosh, you guys, let's just like hypothesize. If Spencer Pratt, he looks, after the fires, he was looking fucking fat and bloated and alcoholic and insane. Then he snapped out of it and he was like, let me get my shit together and start networking with local officials, going to the White House, doing all of his little things. The man looks amazing. He was just like, and this is, sometimes we just need something to motivate us and to focus our energy. And Spencer Pratt, who knew? Let's hypothesize, okay? It's 2030. Heidi is still a pop star, still doing her thing. Spencer has run for local government, cleaned up Los Angeles. Like, this is crazy. Crazy. And then if LA becomes red for like 100 or 200 years, maybe like bring back the entertainment industry, lower taxes. And hey, if you're going to charge all those taxes, then why is Santa Monica crumbling into the ocean? It's just, why is there still brush in Topanga? So that is the craziest story arc that could happen in the next like 10, 20, 100 years. Then what if like Gunnar and Riker grow up to then continue their father's legacy? Like, I feel like timelines have been shifted, you guys. I really genuinely do. I feel like timelines have been shifting. It's, everything is happening all over, all at once. You can speak to your younger version of yourself and give it good advice. We could also converse with our older self and get advice from that. So I'm sorry, they wanted to make us think that life is just strip malls and Target and pumpkin spice and nah, bitch. It's telepathy and telekinesis and multi-dimensions and space and astrology and astronomy. That's just the tip of the iceberg. So imagine California coming back strong as a red state, and maybe Hollywood could get back together. Another little fun fact, the original Hollywood was in Fort Lee, New Jersey. And I grew up not far from Fort Lee, New Jersey. And then in the I think it was like the 1920s, they decided to move to Los Angeles because they could buy up all the land there. So interesting. Alec Baldwin says he is fine after Hampton car crash. His bags are down to his knees. Do your bags hang low? Do they wobble to and fro? He doesn't even need the fucking airbags to be deployed. He's got them under his eyes. He looks... Do you think Hilaria trapped him? I think Hilaria wrapped her little yoga legs around him and sucked his juice into her body 1,200 times. She's killing him slowly. I'm not really a fan of the lower bluff, but if anyone needs a fucking lower bluff, it is Alec Baldwin. He is looking so rough. I'm concerned. I am definitely concerned about him. I want to know why he had all those kills with Ilaria. And I wonder if like when her kids become teenagers, mostly her daughters, and they're mad at her for taking the keys to the Range Rover or not letting her use the house cleaning AI robot. If they're like, whatever, mom, your name isn't even Ilaria, it's Hillary. That sounds like something a teenage girl would do, right? It's like, you won't let me use the AI robot to clean my room. Hillary. So why did they have all these children? You live in an apartment in New York City. Who the fuck wants all these kids? They got like 90 fucking kids. And he's like just hanging on by a thread. You know that he's either these children are going to give them and him the will to live a long time, or they're going to send him to a fucking early grave. I saw the pictures of him getting out of the car after his crash, and he looks like a broken man. I'm like, what did you do in your life to deserve this? Like, I think he thought he was going to get with Hillary, have like 2 kids, hot little sexy Latin wife. Meanwhile, she's from Boston. And be bopping around. He probably had a lot of money at one point. And he was so handsome in Beetlejuice. He was so good looking. I'm looking at him right now, but like the old version. But he was so handsome in Beetlejuice. And I just look at him now and he's a fucking shell. He's a shell of a person. Crazy to me. Ugh, Woody Allen. You know, it's crazy because I like, and his Woody Allen's picture is right next to Alec Baldwin's. Woody Allen, he made a lot of films that I do like, but what a weirdo. He's 1000% a pedophile. He is. He married his stepdaughter, and his only excuse was, I didn't adopt her. Mia Farrow adopted her with her then partner. What? I don't like that. I don't like that. So it does annoy me that Diane Keaton was friends with him. I don't like that. But we're just going to take it at face value. And, you know, his films are good. Throw him in jail. Hollywood is a piece of shit. Hollywood, Hollywood, Hollywood. Well, you know, we definitely don't want to look on NBC. Oh boy. It's just everything. God. Pop culture. I think the peak of pop culture was 2007, 2008. And then we definitely saw a decline 2012, 2013. Right? We are on E! News. Oh my God. Justin Trudeau is such a little twat. Oh my God. Janelle Evans. Oh God. She has a daughter? Oh my gosh. Janelle Evans' daughter looks just like her, and Janelle is now morphing into her mother, Barbara. Right? That was her mom's name? No. Oh, no, no, no. I think things just like... Ugh. I swear. That's like another conversation. I feel like families, it's like the theme constantly rolls over to a new generation unless you're brave enough to be the black sheep and bounce and do your own thing. But when I look at Janelle Evans and then I look at her daughter and how she's like a mini her, and knowing Janelle still has just like a very messy life, I can see 16 and pregnant generation 2. If I were Janelle, I would have given that child up for adoption and disappeared. I would have moved to a different part of the world. Because that, it just all looks like it's going to be the same thing over and over again. That's so crazy to me. Oh my gosh. Cardi B has not safe for work reason for why she keeps getting pregnant. We know why. Cardi, we know why. Have your kids, girl. If you have the money, fucking do it. But I can't. Did Kim really cut her hair? No, she definitely didn't. Oh my gosh, no one cares. No one cares. They're saying Prince Harry and Meghan are showing a rare glimpse of their children. What? I don't know. These kids, they look AI. And that's the I don't like Meghan Markle. She's so pretty. We will not take that away from her, but I don't know. It's giving Weapons to me. If you haven't seen Weapons yet, I highly suggest go watch Weapons because it's very creepy. And I feel like people do weird, creepy shit like that. And yeah, I don't know. She has this control over Harry. And I'm like, what is the control? Because, well, I guess he's got no one else. She's a good narcissist, right? She completely isolated him from everyone in his family. And he's got no one but her. They're just so creepy. And I feel like Diana is, fucking tossing in her grave over this. I do want to say, this is probably going to be like a way controversial thing to say. Do I want to say it? If Ozempic is an option, why would you not take it? I'm not into it because all I really, it's not for me. But if I had, oh my gosh, if they had Ozempic for the phone, and I'm sure Ozempic does work like that too, but I've definitely, for me, it's like I'm constantly touching and using and on my phone, and I am like a little bit sick of it. But if you struggle with something else like smoking or drinking or food or shopping or whatever, and Ozempic is an option, why wouldn't you want to take it? Why wouldn't you want to take it? Maybe it's your I don't know. But seeing people struggle with different things and thinking to myself, like, why not just microdose? Why not just do it? If sugar, well, if you're addicted to sugar, I would immediately focus on gut health. But like, why not utilize? That's all I'm going to say. Not to offend anyone, but if you're struggling and it can help you, why not? Because I think my generation is all about the peptides. And I can totally see, I haven't gotten to the peptide train yet, but I can totally understand why people do the peptides. I'm on TikTok, I'm like scrolling on TikTok, and the woman's like, I can solve any of your problems with a peptide. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to give the peptides like 3 years. I want to see all the crazy shit that happens to the people on the peptides. And I say this because I also was of that same ilk. Let's see what the word ilk means. Ilk. Ilk. Meaning. Yeah, principle. Okay. Yeah. So like I was also of that same ilk where I was like, I don't want to use Botox, filler, any of that stuff for a long time, if ever, which no, I just don't. Because I wanted to see, I grew up with those horrible shows about botched liposuction, and you're essentially plastic surgeons they're just like, my hair is so crazy today. They're using you to practice their techniques. That's crazy to me. And then they're absolved of any responsibility, really, if something goes wrong. So to me, I was like, I'm good. I don't want anything injected into my face or my body. I'm good. I don't even like to wear mascara. So now seeing everyone do the, all these different peptides, and I'm going to wait a little bit. I'm going to wait. I just want to see how it goes with you guys first. And then maybe. I won't even do like a vitamin drip. I'm also weirded out by those. I will give blood, but I will not do anything injected into my body. Why? Why do you want to inject it into my body? Why? Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Am I the only one who feels like that? So also, I do want to talk a little bit about and then I gotta go. I gotta get ready for my day. I do want to talk a little bit about everything going on with Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk. And I was dating this guy this past summer. Don't do that. Don't date a guy. Don't date anyone. We'd actually met 2 years ago on Tinder. I should have known. And I got like the fuckboy vibes from him 2 years ago. So I broke it off. My grandpa had just died. And I was like, you give me fuckboy vibes, and I cannot have that in my life right now. We're not dating. And then he was like, oh, I'm dating somebody else. And I was like, cool, good, bye. So he naturally circled back around 2 years later. We dated this past summer. It was nice. It was fun. I felt exactly the same way that I did 2 years ago this time. And to the ladies who fall for him, he's cute. He's got good hair, but good fucking luck. We went, and this is how I know, we went to go see Charlie Kirk speak, and this was July 4th weekend. I remember sitting in the church thinking to myself, why didn't we have to come through a metal detector for this? I just felt like they were going to pick this guy off, and I didn't want to see it. As we were walking out of the church, I did see there were armed police officers there. So they did have cops there, thank God. But to me, I just thought like, this guy's days are fucking numbered. I could already tell he was going to piss a lot of people off, and it I literally thought to myself, the guy I was dating was like, hey, do you want to go see Charlie Kirk speak? And in my head, I was like, yes, before they kill him. Because people like him, they don't let people like Charlie Kirk just skate through in life, which is also why I'm a little bit concerned for Candace. you know, either she's paid opposition or she is a lone wolf fighting the good fight. I don't know yet, because she says she's so ballsy and she's so balls to the wall that I'm like, I don't know if she's this fearless because she knows there won't be any repercussions, or if she's this angry and she doesn't care if there are going to be repercussions. So that's how I feel about Candace. But I just remember thinking to myself, I want to go see this guy talk before they pick him off. And then not even 2 months later, they picked him off. I don't agree with really anything he says. Not a lot. You know, freedom of speech, yes, absolutely. But like having the child of your pedophile, rapist, family members, baby, like, no. There was a woman who was like, I was raped by my uncle and I'm having his baby. Girl, no, don't do that. Talk about generational trauma. Unless you're going to put the child up for adoption and send it to live in a different country so they never know its origin. I don't believe in that. Okay? Having your family member's child, no. So that's not my vibe. I also think that families trap people and women, young women. They push them towards unhealthy relationships by torturing them. Then the kid gets pregnant. Then they're like, ha ha, now we have our hooks in you and your child, ha ha. And then generational trauma over and over and over again. So if you're 16 and pregnant, drive to a different state, okay? Return to sender. You don't have to do it, honey. So yeah, I didn't agree with anything that a lot of what Charlie Kirk had to say, except the free speech, except that I love that he went, I love debate. So I loved it. Even if I don't want to, like, sitting in that church listening to him speak, one, he looked a little disheveled. I was like, this guy's tired. Two, yeah, he was saying things that I was like, yeah, I don't really agree with, but it's important for us to be able to have opinions that other people don't agree with and not get physically harmed for it. Candace, on the other hand, I feel I love her. You know, yes, we share a name. We are both Candaces, so Candace to Candace. I want to say to her, either I admire you above all other people in this world because she's like, it's a little fake, it's a little gay, it's a little fake, little fake and gay. I just, she's so real. Either she's so real or she's paid opposition, and I can't decide yet. So just like the trizepatides and the peptides and all of that stuff, I got to get back to you on that. But as of right now, from what I'm seeing, I love Candace Owens. She's pissed. I think Erika, and I've said this before. My name is Candace. My sister's name is Erika, and her husband's name is Charlie. What the fuck dimension is that? How fucking weird is that? Okay? Very strange. I don't trust his wife. I don't trust her for not 1 second. When I cry, my face looks puffy and fucked up for like 3 or 4 days. It just looks like you could tell I've been crying no matter how much I ice my face or depuff it or whatever. When I look at Erika Kirk, Tucker Carlson, and Candace, nobody looks like they were crying. I look crazy for days after I've cried. So I don't know. I'm not saying he's still alive. He definitely is dead. And I will not ever be able to erase that video of him out of my head. Like, I watched it once and it didn't even register in my brain what I was looking at. And then I watched it again and my stomach fell through my asshole. And I was like, I came home. I slept. I like paced my apartment. I slept. And I just like I cried. I was in shock. Just the sheer gruesomeness of that video, you know, oof, it was horrible to watch. So he's definitely dead. But I think that there's just something so suspicious and weird about his wife, about the whole thing. So I feel like the timeline shifted when they shot JFK. And let's just remember, Lyndon B. Johnson was a fucking pervert. And he would lay his penis, like he would call people into his office and lay his big giant penis on his desk. And people would come in and be like, oh my God. So he was a flasher. And even though JFK was a philanderer and a pig and all of that, he was the better of the two. So they definitely collapsed timelines when they shot JFK. And we all know that I was at the Ambassador Hotel in 2005, the night that they demolished it, because I was there for the filming of Bobby. That's why I say, do it for the plot. I've driven across America 3 times, okay? I've lived all over this country, coast to coast. Do it for the plot. We die. At the end of this, we die. So we may as well fucking have a good time, do for the plot, enjoy ourselves, mix and mingle, take the nap, right? I just feel like there is something so, it's like there was a goo in 2012, a goo in 2016, a goo in 2025. And when that noise is like, to me, like a timeline collapsing. Okay? And don't even get me started on Mall World. That'll be a different episode. But something has shifted. Something is changing. This world is weird. If you think that it's all about Halloween decorations and, you know, Hollywood, and it's, you guys, it's telepathy, telekinesis, astral traveling, it's free electricity. It is so much more than what we've been sold. So thank you for coming to another episode of the Daily Dish with Candace Cooper. You guys, I took a year off, but I'm back and I'm refocused and we're ready to talk. So leave your comments down below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's talk about controversial stuff. Do you think Charlie Kirk's wife is a honeypot? Because I do. I'll see you on the next episode. Peace, you guys. Peace in the Middle East.